It's a little bit of a colder day today. It's definitely a flannel sleeves down day. I should have brought a jacket, but it's still a beautiful day out today. And it's a beautiful day in general to be alive because every day is a beautiful day to be alive. But what I want to discuss today and the thesis of my argument is that bullying should be allowed in schools. Absolutely. Okay. And I also want to come up with counter arguments that I would hear and discuss those and go and dive into detail on those counter arguments and start off with a very basic reasoning on why it should be allowed. The very basic reasoning, we'll start there and then go up. So toughens you up. Okay. So if we start from elementary school, a child in elementary school could be pushed verbally, talked down to. Their confidence will be tested. This will be a very developmental stage of their lives. And so I'll go right off the bat and I'll start with the counter argument. The counter argument is that people will kill themselves, right? If they're bullied in school, so it should not be allowed, right? Right. So I'm going to say the first thing, and we'll start off from here and I'll branch off, is that in elementary school, how many 12-year-olds, not 12-year-olds, what the hell do you in elementary school? 10? How many 10-year-olds are like, oh man, this kid's pushing me around. I'm going to fucking blow my brains out. It happens, but it's not going to be a large quantity. All right, that's the first thing I'm going to say. I understand that it does happen, though. I mean, there are also 8-year-olds that, and again, I'm using a very gruesome example because this is something that has happened in life, in our human fucking race. I mean, fuck, man, there's 8-year-olds that have murdered their whole fucking families. There are 8-year-olds in Africa. They're giving AK-47s to murder people. I mean, there's a lot of things that young kids could do. Okay, but my counter argument to people saying that kids will kill themselves if they're bullied in school is, I'll start with this. Okay, let's say you're going to get a job when you're older. In corporate life, what's much worse than not being bullied and tested in high school or middle school or elementary school is then not having the necessary. What's much worse is being under toxic leadership in a job that you don't have the confidence that you could leave, and you also do not have the life skills that you know that you're able to leave. So if you don't have those life skills, you will not have the confidence, you don't have the ability, you don't have the self-worth to leave. Okay, so I would say what's much worse is that someone not, no one should fucking kill themselves, fucking ever. It is a weak mentality, and it's just terrible. I don't think any human being should ever fucking kill themselves, no matter the circumstance. And I'm going to state that opinion so it cannot be at all misinterpreted. But what's much worse is when you're not in a controlled environment of a school and you were in an uncontrolled environment when you were a man, and now you're in let's use the analogy of a corporate world, and now you want to fucking blow your brains out because you fucking don't understand how to fucking operate in life. It's much, much worse when you don't know how to talk to your boss. You don't know how to stand up for yourself. You don't know how to stand up for people shitting on you in public. It's much fucking worse. Much worse existence. So either way, is that, there's a possibility of the ending of somebody's life. So when you were older, people are already expecting you to be a man. They say, okay, you're 18, you're 21, you got to be a full-grown fucking man. Nobody's going to hold your goddamn hand here. So it all comes back to the conception that, hey, school is fucking useless. Okay? It does not teach you life lessons. This is no life skills. No life skills. This is what everybody is talking about. This is what everybody's argument is, that school does not teach you this. Okay? I talk to people and they got F's all through high school, okay, and they're fucking millionaires, but they were bullied, and they say that was all I needed. It allowed them to push back, and it gives them the mental fuel to tap into to become great. Because when you were young, you were much more emotional, and you're much more susceptible to influence, right? Okay. And the only other counter argument I can think of, and I'm going to try to verbalize this very carefully because this is the best I believe I can verbalize this. The only other counter argument I can ever possibly think of is that some people will go through the bullying and they will not become a great man. Okay, because I'm really only talking about men here because I'm a man. I don't know how exactly it would affect a female. Is that some people, yes, they will become, superior fucking men. and they will know how to stand up for themselves, and they have extreme confidence. But some people, they will never really get there, and they will suffer, and they'll just get bullied, and they'll fucking go in the corporate world, and they'll get bullied, and then one day they'll just decide whatever they're going to decide to do with themselves. And my counter argument to that is two things. Okay, one, if that does happen, the person does not decide within that period of life to stand up for themselves. They don't learn in the school environment, which I'm going to discuss how it could be better optimized in the school environment, because it can be better optimized. One, if it is not optimized and it just happens, and you turn into this fucking person that's been bullied a lot. One, you maybe you have that moment where you're just like, dude, I'm fucking tired of getting bullied, of being shit on, of going through all this garbage, and then you just decide that, okay, I'm going to use all this as fuel, and I'm going to be the best human being that I could fucking be. Fuck all the haters, fuck all the bullies, fuck everybody, okay? I'm going to love everybody that is willing to accept me where I am, and everybody else, fucking go do your own thing. Don't be near me. And the second counter argument is that basically to address this is that with people, some people won't do that. Some people will, they will just, they're just going to get bullied, and they're just going to grow up, and they're going to never attain their potential. Okay, they're never ever going to develop those skills. They're never going to be confident. They're never going to know how to stand up to people. Right? This is the counter argument. Okay. So to that, it's more understanding that, hey man, I really don't know what other verbiage to utilize other than, hey man, some people don't make the cut. You didn't make the cut. Oopsies. Like, what else are you gonna say? I think it would be much more beneficial if this happens and you have half of the people don't realize their full potential, but half of the people are fucking superior and they have amazing life skills, rather than everybody having no life skills. I think that's a much even trade. Okay, it's like love and hate. In order to have a lot of people hate you, love you, you're gonna have a lot of people that hate you. It's exactly the same as this. Some people just have it in them, and then they maybe they have high testosterone, maybe it's genetic, maybe they were just around the right people. There's so many variables, and then some people are just lesser humans. All right, if that's one of the verbiage you want to utilize, it's like Spartans. Okay, leaving, and this is the analogy we're going to use next, like leaving their weak babies out to die. Okay, and I'm not saying that you should leave your babies out to die. Fucking no. But it's understanding that there's some form of evolutionary wiring inside of your brain, at least as a masculine male, that draws you towards such a culture with such habits, with such strength, with such discipline. But let's use Sparta for the current analogy due to the fact that I already brought it up, and it is a universal analogy. All right, everybody knows it. When people look at Sparta and they idolize it and they say, wow, that is so fucking cool. They're so what? They're so what? They're so disciplined, and they're so, what's the word? Tough, and they're so resilient. Correct? Correct. So dissecting that, how do you build resilience? It's not they're eating fucking Cheetos on your fucking couch and discussing your liberal arts degree. No. You build it through going through trials and tribulations naturally as a man, again as a man, because I don't know how females are going to operate under this type of conditions. And this is why people idolize Sparta and they watch the movie 300, eating Cheetos and thinking about if that was their life and what that would be like. A truly temporary escape in a daydream. Just the saddest existence of fucking man. And this is why people, they want to do the Spartan race and they want to wear all that stupid shit like the medals and get all muddy and dirty, and they want to do a triathlon because they're having a midlife fucking crisis. Why does the midlife crisis happen? I'm not even going to dissect that right now. But just imagine, good for him by the way, imagine if you were able to live a life where you could actually be that Spartan in the 21st century. Do you really think that's so impossible? If that life of discipline and focus was yours, do you think you would care about celebrities? About checking Instagram every 2 fucking minutes? About keeping up with the Jones? Kim Kardashian? Do you think you would care of others' opinions? You would feel imperturbable, okay? Now, I wanted to dissect the word imperturbable temporarily. Imperturbable means you're unable to be upset or excited or calm. I've memorized that due to the fact that that is I believe in manifestation. And if I wanted to write, if I think everybody should do an exercise such as this. If you had one word to describe yourself, but the future man that you want to become, what would it be? Mine is imperturbable. It means that no one can excite me, no one can fucking anger me. It's that you are in charge of your own emotions, and that is it. You choose to respond, not to react. Imperturbable, unperturbed. Fucking love that word. Now, going back to the Spartan analogy, sure, there may be things that could creep up on you, which you need to correct, mental things, okay, as they occur, such as perfectionism syndrome, the belief that performance is correlated with feeling good about yourself, which is it's not good. You should have confidence in yourself as a human being. You should have confidence because you are who you are. So, do you really think that a little bullying in my laptop is dying, by the way, so I had to bring it over here. So, do you really think that a little bullying in schools is so bad under a controlled environment? Okay, the key word is controlled environment, where in a school system it is known that you are a youth, as it was said in the movie My Cousin Vinny. You're a youth. Okay, so what this means is you will have access to counseling to human beings who understand that this is the developmental stages of your human existence, who will see you in a stressed out state of mind, who can be a guide and teach the child how to process it, how to mentally frame it, and how to defend themselves verbally and mentally. Worst case scenario, physically. Okay. And they will then take that lesson, the child will take that lesson taught by this mentor, okay, who happened to enter their lives, and they will carry it with them for the rest of their lives. And it will carry on into their jobs, into their future, all right, if they do choose so to go down that path, you know. And what I think this really comes down to is teachers need to understand that they have to take a larger role, okay? This is what I'm saying with it being augmented, right? Free will should be done with this, but teachers need to understand, hey man, um you are not just a fucking human being who is teaching a fucking shitty subject for $40,000 a year. You have a fucking larger role. Your job is to be a life coach for the youth of our society, okay? So keep your fucking eyes open, lay out the weed pen, and look at these goddamn kids. You have a larger role. You're an important human being. So if these teachers, all right, take on the role of a guidance counselor as a moderator, because a moderator or coach is necessary to teach these kids how to mentally frame it, okay? You know, and that is what is going to happen, right? That is where the growth comes from. That is where the growth comes into. Someone to teach you how to frame it, how to think about it. Because God forbid, let's talk about really terrible things. I mean, really, really terrible things, like things that should never ever happen. And absolutely, there should be an intermediate person that comes and takes this out. Let's say, God forbid, a young woman takes a picture of herself and sends it to a boyfriend, and it gets in the internet, right? A nude, photograph. That should obviously be taken down immediately, and that's fucking terrible. And I hope that never happens to a human being. Okay. But with that example, let's say that happens. What should happen right then and there? Okay, that person should absolutely have a fucking counselor or a coach or someone to step in and say, look, this is how you should mentally frame it. Okay, look, this happens. It's we've all been through shitty something. I'm not going to pretend like I know what the guidance counselor or what the teacher should say. I'm not going to pretend like I would know what to say in that situation. I'm not even going to pretend. But an example might be, hey, we've all been through shitty things at this age. You're not going to remember all these people. All these people are going to be gone. I mean, what are you going to say? I don't fucking know. The human body is fucking natural. I don't fucking know. The point is they make it saying like, hey man, this is just a part of life. It's a growing experience. That it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing as shit. But to who? You give a fuck about these people? This is not life ending. This is not a reason to end your life. So do you really think this one thing? I put this in a little box, put a little pretty bow on it. Such a subject that nobody wants to touch. You know, motherfucker, dude. Spartan children were told to steal. Okay, they were told to literally fucking steal from their ancestors. And when I say this, what I'm talking about is a way for a young person to develop themselves. This was something I was told to them. All right, again, I'm not saying you should fucking steal, but what was the penalty for that? You know, people cut they cut their fucking hands off if they got caught. All right, and people will say such stupid shit like, "Oh, that was 1,000 years ago," or it's again like fucking dude. 1,000 years ago, and I'm not going to go down this type of route, but it really is not that long ago. But the lessons of the past teach us how to deal with today. All right, in the 30s, in the goddamn 1800s, people were getting gunned down in the street in the Wild Wild West. This stuff is not that long ago. Now we're getting so I really can't think of any good word except for just butthurt over a natural occurrence because really bullying is that. Bullying is a natural occurrence. Bullying is a natural human tendency. It's a power lust. It's a fucking natural dynamic that happens that is being suppressed. Okay, and if it plays out in the youth, then it will also play out when you're older. And if it is taught correctly how to be dealt with, I think it could have massive mental benefits. Confidence and self-esteem and life skills will be developed. Absolutely. But again, this ties into my frame, into my beliefs. So maybe, I mean, the people I'm surrounded with have these fucking beliefs. Other people might not have these beliefs. My beliefs are that men need to go through trials and tribulations. You are born as a man. You're born useless. I mean, if you heard in an article that 10 men die in the coal mine, you say, oh, okay, cool. If 10 women die in the coal mine, you'd be like, oh, fuck, that's oh my God. Be like international fucking news. So you have to prove yourself, your worth as a man through going through these, involuntary trials and tribulations that just happen upon you in life. And when they're mentally framed correctly, because you have someone who has already been through those trials and tribulations, also a man, okay, the teacher, the guidance counselor, the guide, then they're able to teach you, a young man, how to mentally frame that. And I think that is extremely important for it to happen in a controlled environment. And some will rise and some will fail, but amen. Life is also a lot about luck. I mean, it might be just unlucky that some of these kids, they don't have access to the guides. A lot of people don't have access to coaches, and they end up look around you. Even in this small town that I'm in right now, if you go to goddamn larger population city like LA or Chicago, there are people doing drugs in the streets. Why do you think they're doing drugs in the streets? They were perhaps taught the wrong things. They were around the wrong people. There was an element of luck. Luck was a factor in why that human being got addicted to drugs and why they're, down in their luck on a fucking street corner. It's luck is in play. So that is an element here as well. It's unfortunate, but in the same way, it's not really unfortunate. It's just fucking life. Life is not fucking fair. Okay? I'm just trying to find a way to make it slightly more in the advantage of developing society. It's a fucking thought. I think everybody should really, actually turn their brains on and fucking ponder this. That's all I gotta say.